Good morning, everyone, and welcome here to Classic Hits KWNG 106 on this Saturday. I'm Action Jack Colwell, joined by Jameson Melbye. Our show is Let's Get Real with Real Estate. Jameson Melbye, RE/MAX results. Jameson, how are you?
Good, Jack. How are you today?
Fantastic. Always a pleasure,
Excellent.
my friend. You know, as I check now, we're past the Baker's Dozen. This is show number 14, but also I see that this is Seller's Show number 2. So if you're a seller, obviously, you're going to want to listen in because we have some great advice for you, some tips to help you out with your transaction. You all set, Jameson?
I am. Let's rock.
All right, let's give it a shot here. Question number 1, what are some tips on how to sell my house fast and for top dollar? Because seemingly just about everybody wants that scenario to unfold.
Yeah, I've never met anybody who said, "Can you sell my house slow and for as little as possible?"
That's right.
So that would be a new one. Maybe.
Yes, you
maybe
wanted to
that'll
tip
happen.
the other way, right?
Yeah. So my specialty and what I talk about is selling houses fast and for top dollar. That's one of my taglines. So I would say tip number 1 is hire Jameson Melbye because he has a good system in place to sell homes. So that would be tip number 1. But tip number 2 is, whether it's myself or whatever agent you choose, make sure you listen to them on the advice they give you for staging your house, decluttering, if there's things that need to be done with it. And then the biggest thing is pricing the house appropriately, because somebody might think, well, if I list my house well over market value, then I'll get a lower offer, and and then we'll still end up selling it for more, which really isn't the case, because more times than not, when we give a certain price and the seller says they want to go with a higher price, what ends up happening is the house sits on the market longer than it would have had they been at a better price. And then 2, the longer it sits, people think there's a problem with the house. So now you end up going through price reductions and you end up taking less for the house later than if you just would have priced it appropriately, because if you priced it appropriately, there could have been a chance for multiple offers, somebody paying more for the house. Now when it sat a couple months because we had too high of a price, that's when things get bad.
All right, so make sure you get that taken care of right away, and that's your best chance right out of the chute. I've mentioned, and I've heard it mentioned a few times here, Jameson, on the show, you have a few different commission packages. How much are they? How do they work?
Okay, so I have different levels there, and basically one starts at 4%, they go up to 5, 6, and 7. And what I do is I let you choose how much marketing you have with that property, and every package has advantages and disadvantages. Well, I shouldn't really say disadvantages, I guess. I mean, the top package I have is a 7% that has a tremendous amount of marketing with it. Things that happen before we list the house, things that happen after. It's a really good program, but like I say, I mean, you need to talk to an agent and see exactly what it is that they do, because I feel that I provide more value than anybody else in the area. I feel that I market your house heavier than anybody else. So really, like I said, interview agents, and I go into much more detail about what I do, in person. I can't go over everything because unfortunately, some of my competitors listen to this radio show.
And plus, we only have so much time on the show.
And we only have so much time, and it takes a lot of time to go through this stuff. So what I say is give me a call, shoot me an email, and then we'll go from there.
If somebody picks a package with staging, I know we've talked about staging a bit, but what will the stager do? And I don't think we're talking about Hollywood here, but a stager is important.
A stager is very important. So with any package I offer, there's staging advice with it. And then with a couple of the packages, an actual professional stager comes to your house, and they go through room by room, take pictures, take notes, tell you everything that you need to do to get that house ready for showings and for photos. And what I say is that the day of the photo shoot is the most important to have your house show ready. After that, life happens. I understand that. But then they give you a list of things to do, and if your house is vacant, if your house is low on furniture, they will fully stage the house with furniture and things like that for you at an additional cost. So the stager is really important to have in the process.
All right, let's say you're getting ready to take this step, but your home isn't quite up to snuff or up to par. If you want to sell it, what are the options?
Yeah, so again, the consultation is where we dive into a lot of this stuff. And I had a house last year where, you know, the siding had chipping paint, the roof was bad, the windows were bad. There were several things that were wrong with this house. And I told her, I said, well, here are the options. Option A is we list it as is for this price, which it was not a favorable price in her opinion. I said, or you can spend this money and then we can list it at X. So then what she did is it took about a month for everything to get done, but by the time the house was painted, the roof was repaired, the windows were repaired, the flooring was repaired, it was almost a completely new house. And she needed a bigger house and was moving out of town, so it didn't make sense to stay. But she said that she would stay now if it fit in her plan because she really liked it. Luckily, she didn't. We sold that house in, I think it was about a week. And had we not done this, she would have had probably a $40,000 less offer than what she received. So very happy person. And I know people that paint houses, roof, you know, handymen, things like that. So I'm not going to just tell you to do these things and then kick you out and leave you on your own. I mean, I definitely have people you can call to make it easier on yourself.
Yeah, so maybe a little investment can really pay off
Yeah.
if you make that now.
Big
So,
time, big
certainly.
time.
Jameson, can you give us some ideas on how to get more money for your home?
Yeah, so I kind of talked about that a little bit, but big things would be if your house needs paint somewhere, paint it. If you have really loud colors in your house, let's say your daughter loves hot pink in her bedroom, lime green, something like that. That's
Sounds like our house, yes.
yeah, that's fine for when you're living there, but you really want to appeal to as many people as you possibly can. So I can guarantee you that most of the people that come in aren't going to like that hot pink bedroom.
Unless they have a teenage daughter, maybe.
Well, maybe, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
and that's the case. You know, so that's a little part of the market there, but we want to appeal to everybody. So what I would say is to paint it a more neutral color, take down some of those personal things in the room, and again, like I say, have it look like a motel room. So strip it down, pack away your things, paint neutral colors. That's big. Landscaping. If you have some really overgrown shrubs, if your trees are overgrown, you can trim those. You can do little things. I mean, really, it doesn't take a lot of money. Sometimes it just takes some time and sweat equity. You've heard the term.
I
So we'll
have,
sweat.
yes.
Especially in the summer, if you're doing this, you will sweat doing this outside work. But little things like that can really get you more money for your house because it doesn't really add value. But when somebody sees all these projects they have to do, it's perceived value, right?
Right.
So they look at, oh man, I have to do all this work. Well, if you do the work, they're not going to see that. They'll give you more money for the house.
Little things mean a lot. They add up,
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
You bet. We'll be back with part 2. I'm Jack Colwell, and he is?
Jameson Melbye.
That's right. Yeah, we're working well as a team here, and the show is Get Real with Real Estate. Jameson Melbye. Remax results here on KWNG 106. Part 2 is on the way.
Definitely.
Good morning. We're back with part 2 of Get Real with Real Estate. I'm Jack Colwell. Jameson Melbye is with me. The show is Get Real with Real Estate. Jameson Melbye with Remax Results. This is Seller Show number 2, number 14 overall in our series. All right, Jameson, let's pick it up kind of where we left off.
Yeah.
All right, so as we resume here with part 2 of the show, mentioned before, interviewing more than one real estate agent. Why is that important?
Well, I've mentioned before that we're all created different. We're not created equal. So when you list with one agent, they're going to have the fee they've been charging. They're going to have the things they do to get your house sold. And really what it comes down to is there a system in place? Are they doing the same thing every time? One of my specialties is selling homes that haven't sold, and we call those expired listings. So if the plan is to put a sign in the yard, take generic photos, put it on the MLS, and then cross the fingers and hope it sells, that's not a really good plan. So you want somebody that has a system for the way they do it. They follow the same rules every time. And what I do is it's kind of like McDonald's. You go to McDonald's, they have a system that generates predictable results. So that's my plan. Is I have certain things I do with every commission package, every single time on every single house, so that way I can have predictable results, which is selling the house for as much money as fast as possible.
Would you like fries with it? No, I'm just kidding.
No fries with my packages. No fries.
Here's something new. Like it or leave it. What is this? What does that mean?
Yeah, so like it or leave it. It's a plan I'm rolling out here where if you don't like your house that you bought, within the first 6 months, if you decide this is not the house for me, Jameson, why did we buy this house? As long as you're buying the next house from me, I will sell that house and not charge you anything on my commission. So we still would have to pay out to the buyer's side, but it's just a service I'm providing, because I've had some people say that, they wish they would have had a bigger house right off the bat. And I've thought to myself, well, that's tough, and then they don't have the equity if they're moving that fast.
Right.
So I figured, why not? As long as they're buying another house from me, that'll help me cover some of my marketing costs to sell this house. But call me within 6 months after you bought a house. If you don't like it, I'll list it for free on my side. We'll get it sold and get you into a house that's a better fit for you. So, like it or leave it. Pretty good program. I haven't heard of anybody around here doing that. So.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I've heard of like buyer's remorse, but usually that's 3 to 5 days. This is a whole 6 months, so that's kicking the tires and then some.
Definitely.
So why should I hire? And I know eventually just about everybody who has a house will be in the market to hire a real estate agent.
Right.
Why should I hire Jameson Melbye to sell my home?
Yeah, so this last June is the 10-year mark where I've been selling real estate 10 years. And my background previous to that was in graphic design, web design. So that's why I really have an affinity for the listing side of the business, because like I said, it's predictable. I can do certain things to create predictable results. And a lot of that now is web marketing. 92% of buyers are starting their search online. So you need somebody who understands the internet, understands home pricing, how to market houses, because at the end of the day, you're hiring an agent for advice and for marketing. And a lot of agents don't look at themselves as marketers. Like I said, they follow the same plan they've been following for 30 years selling houses. And let me tell you, in the last 10 years, marketing real estate has evolved tremendously. So you need somebody keeping up on what's current, marketing that house heavily, using professional photos, and again, having a plan. That's why you should hire Jameson Melbye.
No, I'll vouch for that, certainly.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, nice segue here, our final question.
You like that?
Here you have a new website. Tell us more about that.
I do. So Remax Results is the company that I work for, and Remax is a franchise. We're a franchisee. So Remax Results has 1,100 agents, and we're the biggest Remax franchise in the world. So we have 1,100 agents, tremendous volume, and they just rolled out a brand new custom built website. Usually companies of this size takes a long time to roll out websites. We have a beautiful website that just came out. If you go to jamesonmelbye.com, you can search houses in this area. If you want to search houses in Duluth, Fargo, then I would recommend going to results.net, because they have all of the MLS subscriptions for those certain areas. But I'd say check out our website. We have really good information on communities. You can register on my website to find out what your home value is, search for houses, get market reports, school info, things like that. So jamesonmelbye.com is a good place to start your home search.
Excellent stuff, Jameson. Hey, before we let you go on this edition of Get Real with Real Estate, again, Jameson Melbye, Remax Results. Again, more contact info. You mentioned your website, but give it another whirl if you could.
I did. In case you missed it the last 2 times, jamesonmelbye.com is a good place to start your home search. My cell phone number is 651-764-8933. And again, we record this live on Facebook Thursday mornings. It goes on KWNG Saturday mornings. Look me up on Facebook, Remax Results, Jameson Melbye Real Estate.
Fantastic stuff, Jameson. Appreciate it very much. And boy, by the next time we talk, we'll be into the month of August for show number 15. How about
Crazy.
that?
That is
Where's
crazy,
summer
Jack.
going? My goodness.
Yeah.
Hey, have a great weekend.
You too, sir.
All right, that's Jameson Melbye. Again, the show Get Real with Real Estate, Jameson Melbye, Remax Results, Action Jack Colwell here for Jameson on Classic Hits, KWNG 106. We'll see you next Saturday.
See you then.